Hello, today we are in Germany and we brought our valued MIBs and some of our staff to Germany. Here, our main purpose is to see the Championship League finals where I believe everyone gonna enjoy the game. On top of that, we are here to see beautiful mountains, to go to Zugspitze, to the Toboggan, really nice things waiting for us and we are really excited.
Welcome back to our German trip. We are amidst very beautiful creatures on ground right now before we make our way up there for our paragliding adventure. Can't wait to look at the view from up there.
Es una experiencia muy buena ya que uno puede aprender más sobre el tema de trader, ya con muchas ganas de aprender todo sobre Valetax y manejar la plataforma.
We just got awarded the best partnership program in Latin America. We analyzed a lot of partners, a lot of MIBs are telling us the same, that our partnership program is truly the best.
Yeah, it was a great gameplay. Although I lost, but I really had a fun in that. Thanks for inviting me for the game.
The winner is Valetax.
Thank you everyone for your trust with us and we'll keep working to make sure that you always stay with the most innovative broker.
Announcing the arrival of Mr. Victor Kopinski, CEO of Valetax.
First of all, I highly appreciate you finding time and coming today to share this really impressive night. The idea is to kind of think and let you feel who is Valetax in reality.
ผมจะเติบโตไม่ได้เลยถ้าไม่มีทุกคนแล้ววิชั่นของผมอยากพา Valetax ไปไกลที่สุด Valetax New Era
The arrival of Mr. Victor Kopinski, CEO of Valetax.
First of all, I highly appreciate you finding time and coming today to share this really impressive night. The idea is to kind of
The arrival of Mr. Victor Kopinski, CEO of Valetax.
First of all, I highly appreciate you finding time and coming today to share this really impressive night. The idea is to kind of think and let you feel who is Valetax in reality.
ผมจะเติบโตไม่ได้เลยถ้าไม่มีทุกคนแล้ววิชั่นของผมอยากพา Valetax ไปไกลที่สุด Valetax New Era
by Harrison Ford. So, the kind of use of these technologies, when done with the informed consent of the performer, it can be helpful to production. And it's not something that we're opposing. What we're opposing is companies feeling like they have the right to just do that without getting any kind of informed consent.
And are these, as far as negotiations on deals and things are concerned, like, are these non-negotiables from your standpoint? What other non-negotiables are there?
Well, I mean, the principle is non-negotiable. The principle that actors need to have informed consent over the creation of a digital replica and the use of that digital replica and fair compensation, that's not negotiable, clearly. I mean, those are basic principles that need to be enshrined. The mechanism by which those would be carried out, absolutely is negotiable. We negotiated over it for 35 days with the companies. We would have been negotiating over it more since then if the companies would have come back to the table instead of having us be out on strike for 75 days with no discussions over these things. So, we don't come to negotiations saying, there are conditions on these negotiations or this and that are non-negotiable. Having said that, if the principles we're talking about are enshrined, we are very open to discussing the mechanism by which that happens. And we have been.
In terms of like the history of technological impacts on cinema and Hollywood, where does AI in this current debate sit in terms of severity? Is it unprecedented?
So these are, in our view, existential issues, and they're issues that we really have to address now, because given the developments in generative AI over the last 12, 18 months, we certainly can't wait another 3-year contract cycle to address them. We can't even wait a year to address them. I had 14-year-olds come up to me on the picket line at Disney saying how concerned they were about not being able to have a career as an actor because they felt like AI was going to take away their jobs. I mean, when 14-year-old performers are saying this to you, you really have to listen.
Unprecedented times, Jackie.
Definitely. Do you think AI will continue to be a sticking point in negotiations going forward?
We did make some progress during the first part of negotiations, but as I mentioned before, there were proposals put out right at the end of our negotiating period that were really inconsistent with the idea of informed consent and fair compensation. And so the only AI deal that we're going to agree to is an AI deal that reflects those principles. How it's implemented, still some bargaining to do, but those principles must be enshrined in the contract.
Do you think we're going to get replaced, Jackie?
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Well, Duncan, thanks ever so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Tim Weber, it's great to have an Oscar winner on the show today. So thank you very much for coming in.
Pleasure.
You're a visual effects supervisor, chief creative officer at Framestore, which people will remember from Harry Potter, Gravity, of course, the Avatar films. You've been behind a huge number of blockbusters over the years. So let's start big. What has the generative AI boom done for the visual effects industry?
I think the first thing it did is worry a lot of people initially, because everyone looked at it and it could do such amazing things that were so impressive in short clips, in demos, that we all thought, it's, our jobs are going. But quite quickly, we looked at it and realized there were lots and lots of limitations, and it wasn't going to totally revolutionize the world immediately, but it is still going to have a big evolutionary effect, almost revolutionary effect, I'd say. It has a lot of potential in a lot of different areas, and when it does apply to a certain process, it makes a big change. It typically can speed certain things up by factors of 1,000.
Yeah. So what are some examples of things that we might have seen on screen that has used some of the more advanced AI tools?
I mean, there's the obvious stuff where faces have been replaced with someone else. A stuntman has an actor's face put on them, using the deep face technology that we're all quite familiar with. But it is used, we developed a piece of AI technology that enabled us to, when we build a virtual creature or a virtual human being, we build them from the inside out. We build skeletons and then muscles and then skin, and the animator will move the skeleton and the computer will work out how the muscles move and how the skin slides on top of that and how the light reacts to it. Now, the process of doing that could take sort of 40 seconds. You make one move of the skeleton and it could take 40 seconds to update all of that. But we were able to accelerate that process to make it almost immediate. And what that meant was an animator could move a character in some way, and they could see a genuine representative of how it was going to look in the final image, because all of the subtle details would change too.
Where does AI play a more intensive role, and where does it have more of a potential to kind of take off some of the more labor-intensive tasks?
Where it is taking off now, I would say, is in the early stages of working out. At the very beginning of a project, for example, we do concept design and we draw up how the director wants it to look. Now, tools like Midjourney can create images very, very quickly from scratch. But even there, they're not good enough to create our final image, but good enough for people to go, I like that bit and I don't like that bit, or I want it a little bit like this.
The initial inspiration.
The initial inspiration, yeah.
Thought provocation.
Thought provocation,
Okay.
yeah. We used to do it by searching the internet for existing images, and it was hard to find something even close. So AI in that space gets us quite a bit closer, but still a long way from what the concept artists can do when they can, juggle something into exactly what the director is after.
Hollywood actors and writers have been in intense negotiations with studios, and artificial intelligence has emerged as a key point of contention, specifically because they're afraid that their work, their image and likeness might be used to eventually put them out of work. Does a similar threat or concern exist among visual effects artists?
I think it will, there's a lot of people in our industry worried that they're going to be out of a job. And I think the job market will change, but it won't put people out of a job. And I personally, I believe the same is true in writing and acting. I think it changes the way things are done a little bit, but you can't currently, the more I look into it, the less I worry that it is going to replace us. It so still needs the human input.
One of the things I always think back at when I think of like examples of amazing technological moments in film is Toy Story, back in 1996. Is there a feeling that we're at a similar point now, or is the hype kind of getting away from us?
Well, I think it'll be interesting. One of the amazing things about Toy Story is they took technology that was still quite nascent and they created a new form of films, computer animated movies. At the moment, there is no Toy Story equivalent for AI. And I think it might take a while, and it may never happen, because one of the things about AI is it is used, as I've sort of described, in a number of different areas to help speed up little bits here and there. It's not like a whole new way. I mean, if we get generative video where you can do voice prompts and you can control the video and it will look sufficiently good quality, possibly there may be something new out of that, but I think that's a long way away.
In the case of visual effects, will it always kind of require this additional layer of technical expertise?
I think, and I'm talking about visual effects at the high end, what you know, where we work is right at the high end. I don't see that can happen at the high end. You know, you want to be led by a master storyteller, by a Steven Spielberg, you know, and it takes them years and teams of experts to help them craft their movie. The movie that will be crafted out of AI, and, you know, look at what ChatGPT creates. It assembles all the words from the internet and spews out something that is plausible and is often useful and often correct, but not always correct, but is often very useful. But for it to, you know, that is different to being a perfectly crafted original piece.
Using your imagination a bit, what are you most excited about when it comes to artificial intelligence and its potential to transform VFX?
I think there's a number of things to be excited about, but one of the big ones to me is how it can bring VFX to wider areas. You know, it can, because you can render very quickly, it could allow us to create what I'm going to call a volumetric movie. So, you know, say you're watching a movie, but one where it's like a 3D movie, but it's more genuinely 3D. It can encompass you, and you know, as you move your head, there's three-dimensionality to it. It's not just stereoscopic vision. So that would be a whole new way of showing movies. It would be all the more powerful.
Like, as an Oscar winner, someone who's received an Academy Award, do you think there's a future where an artificial intelligence and I'll say itself, could be worthy of winning the award rather than a human being?
I mean, I think there's significantly far into the future, there is all sorts of possibilities. You know, if we get to the point where an artificial intelligence could be winning the Oscar, we're also at the point where an artificial intelligence could be the Prime Minister or the President or doing all sorts of other things, at which point I think we'll have an awful lot to worry about, and it may be great, but there'll be a lot to worry about.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Edward Sachi, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're the CEO of Fable, a company that's used artificial intelligence to create original South Park episodes. It was something as a proof of concept, but still pretty cool. You did it with a tool called AI Showrunner. Could you walk us through how that works?
Yeah, so we've been in AI for about 5 years, and every single year, other than this year, we've always felt AI just isn't good enough to be funny, to really make a work of art. And this year, it really did change. And so we were still reading, articles and people saying, "Oh well, of course, it's never going to be funny. It's never going to really work." And we thought, well, actually, that's not what we're seeing, and we should maybe illustrate what we're seeing. And so we thought that creating the AI showrunner would be a good way to kind of wake people up to just how good AI has become. So we used as an example South Park, which is obviously an incredible television show, and very funny and very anarchic and irreverent, and not sort of an AI telling terrible stand-up jokes, but something really quite sophisticated in its comedy. And I guess you have to have a lot of understanding of like world events and like what's going on and the satire of it. And so we thought that we'd create a tool to make infinite South Park episodes just for our own research, and we created I think maybe 10 or 15 just to kind of illustrate the point and release them. We also worked with journalists so that the journalists could come up with their own story in a sentence, and also put themselves in that story, just to illustrate that you can do whatever you want. And yeah, I think people were both very angry that we did this during the strike, and very shocked that they laughed.
You mentioned the writer's strike just now, but before we talk about that more, do you know if Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, saw any of the episodes that were made?
No, I don't. And we're huge fans of theirs. But I do think that the episodes were hopefully helpful to the conversation around the strike, so that more controls can be put in place around AI.
Right. And do you think they were then? Do you think that something like what you did was helpful in moving this debate forward?
Well, I think in any negotiation, more information is better, because you can negotiate not in a fog of war, but in a real sense of understanding. And if the timing of the strike meant that it was happening at a moment when there was a lot of fog of war around what is AI going to be used for. There were reports of studios literally scanning extras and then saying, we now have the rights to your scan forever, which is completely disgusting and insane. And so there was a lot of worry. And also there was some complacency around, well, of course, AI can't write anything good. And so I do think that giving more information means a stronger hand for the negotiators to say, we want to have AI only used with the permission of the artists, and not producers saying, okay, well, why don't we just get rid of why don't we get rid of everyone? It'll just be us, the producers, talking to our computers, and we'll be so profitable. We've got to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Okay, but the South Park episode wasn't just a stunt. You're actually producing an AI-generated TV show called Thistle Gulch, and it's sort of like set in a simulation of a Western town where AI characters are exploring the Wild West. What kind of effort does a project like that really take when you're using AI?
Yeah, our goal is to make AI people. And so that's why we build simulations. And in the process of building that, we realized that actually having a sort of reality TV of what's going on in this simulation, a little bit like the Truman Show, would be really cool, and that you'd get great results. So we didn't just create the ability to make episodes of South Park. We actually made a simulation of the town of South Park, and those episodes represented things that were happening in South Park. And then with Thistle Gulch and with some of the other simulations that we're building, you'll be able to see both inside the simulation and also get reality TV episodes of what's going on with your AIs. Just as in the Truman Show, you got those episodes coming out of that fake world that Truman lived in.
Let's talk about the profits behind making an AI generated television show versus if you were doing it the traditional way.
Yeah, obviously the costs are much lower. I think the exciting thing for us with Showrunner and allowing people to make new episodes of simulated shows is that creators could actually start to earn money. That's our key metric, is how do we get the top creators, so the top 5% who create really good new episodes of shows, how do we make sure that this is financially good for them?
It makes me think about those that go to school to study film and how to make TV shows, and whether AI will just render that obsolete. And brings me to the question of what is the creative element? Where's the human component in creating shows if AI is making it super easy? Where do you see that going in the future?
Yeah, I think the area that I'm the most excited about is AI movies, so feature films entirely made by one person. And Orson Welles, maybe the greatest filmmaker of all time, said, I've chosen a terrible life in that I spend 99% of my life hustling to make money or to get money from the money men and women. I have to be nice to all these people that I hate. And it's not a life. I get to do 1% of my time doing something that I love. And I'm very excited for films, the making of films, to become more like the making of novels, more like the making of paintings, where one visionary, a kind of writer-director who's got a vision in his or her head, can, with AI, actually bring that to life.
Sorry, guys, all these people behind the cameras here, we don't need you anymore. Apologies. Me and Jackie are going to do this on our own.
artificial intelligence is ushering in a new era of scientific research. From biology to physics, AI-driven tools and techniques are poised to expand our understanding of the world.
Forms of artificial intelligence have been used in science for years, but the rise of generative AI is unlocking greater speed and accuracy.
AI-driven simulations have the potential to streamline the search for new drugs. And in genomics, algorithms can sift through genetic information, identifying patterns and disease markers that would have otherwise taken years to uncover through human efforts.
And it can help with hypothesis generation by analyzing papers, suggesting new research directions, and even predicting potential outcomes.
So in this episode of AI IRL, we'll explore what having an AI assistant in the lab will look like, and what science moonshots AI will bring closer within our reach. Sam Rodriguez, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Of course, yeah. Great to be here.
So you're a scientist and an entrepreneur that's spent his career developing new technologies that help neuroscientists better understand the brain. You also just started a new organization called Future House that's backed by ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt that's dedicated to science moonshots using AI. Why don't you talk to us about some of the breakthroughs you're hoping to achieve?
What we're interested in doing is building an AI scientist. Okay, and essentially what that means to us is building an AI to which you can delegate some of like the tasks of science as scientists. So I'm a scientist, right? Like you said, I've been a neuroscientist, a bioengineer. I actually started out originally as a physicist. Throughout all these different areas of science, basically, you encounter situations like, for example, maybe you have an idea. And you really want to know, like, has anyone done this before, right? Has anyone studied this before? Has anyone tried, building this device or like conducting this experiment or whatever? And, you literally like cannot go and read the entire literature on your own, right? Or like, another example, you collect some data set and you have like 100 different ideas for how to analyze it. And you literally don't have enough capacity as one person to go and like analyze your data set in all the different ways that you can imagine doing it. Science is like really bottlenecked by like, our ability to go and do these tasks. And so our idea is that actually we're getting to the point where we're going to be able to build AIs that can like do science themselves, that can assist us with tasks like analyzing data, like going and searching literature, et cetera. And that this will lead to a major speed up in the pace of research throughout science. And so we're really focused on biology, but I think that the impacts here will be everywhere from like, physics, chemistry, like climate, energy, like basically all areas of science are going to be touched by the AI scientists that we're trying to build.
Future House is a nonprofit organization. Is there a reason you didn't want to do this as a private company?
Our 10-year mission is to accelerate the pace of discovery and to make cutting edge access to cutting edge scientific expertise like available worldwide. That is not a mission that will necessarily yield a profit in the next 10 or even 20 years. It might, but it might not. If we were for profit, we would get pushed into making a drug really, really fast, so that we could provide returns to our investors. And obviously drugs are important, but we think we can have way more impact if we pursue this longer term vision. And we're lucky enough to be backed by people who want to support us in doing that. So
let's say I'm a scientist. I have my AI companion helping me crunch some of the numbers. Where do I fall in the scientific process? Where do humans' role come in?
At the end of the day, AI is a tool that like allows us to do the things that we want to do better. The fundamental thing that humans will always do is decide what they want. Right. So if I'm a scientist, I will be saying, hey, I would like to investigate this. I would like to study, for example, how neurons are connected to each other in the brain. And I want to test like specifically these hypotheses. And then you'll have your AI assistants or the AI scientists that you're working with that will go off, and you'll be able to direct them in particular directions to go and come up with hypotheses or go through the literature and come up with experiments, like plan out those experiments, execute those experiments, et cetera. But like the humans at the end of the day are going to be like the directors, right? The orchestrators. They're going to be the ones who are deciding what needs to be done, evaluating the evidence and like, figuring out basically where they want to put their resources.
Talk to us about some of the limitations and also the risks of using AI in science, because I know ChatGPT is only one example, but it's still fairly, in the early stages, and it's inaccurate sometimes. The stakes are much higher when it comes to things like drug discovery.
Oh yeah, and I think that the inaccuracies that you need to worry about, it's like whether these tools can be used for like, antisocial purposes, right? Whether people can use them to come up with bioweapons and things like that. Huge, like really serious risks here, and these are things that we think about a lot. And so I think the main thing is making sure that you have partnerships and dedicate a lot of resources whenever you build a new AI-powered tool to testing how it can be used nefarious or otherwise ill purposes, making sure that you put safeguards in place so that it cannot be used in those ways.
When it comes to bioweapons, that sounds terrifying. How big of a threat is it right now with AI in its current form?
It's difficult to make bioweapons for like the same reason it's difficult to make drugs, actually, that like we really don't understand human physiology. We lack a lot of basic information about human physiology, and so therefore it's like very hard to cure disease. It's also like very hard to develop like targeted weapons that can like mess with your body. So I'm not meaning to minimize the risk, but I think that like this is not something that I am personally like acutely worried about in the near term.
So it's not like someone in his garage has the potential of building a biological weapon.
Yeah, I think at the moment that is highly unlikely. We have a long way to go before we're at the point where someone could use the AI to build a biological weapon in their garage in a way that they could not do without the AI, right? So like already, I mean, you can search Google and you can, try to figure out how to make a biological weapon in your garage. And people could do that before they had ChatGPT. And there are people studying right now whether ChatGPT makes it easier or not. I think that there's a long way to go before it becomes like really, easy enough that it's really scary.
And I think that's really useful because you help us paint that picture that this isn't about throwing an AI at a problem and suddenly solving a question that we couldn't solve before, but it is about speeding up the process that is involved in trying to answer that question. And I think that's really useful exactly to keep in mind, right? And that's what we're talking about almost with the bioweapons. Like it's all part of that same argument that we have so much to do. AI just helps us get through some of that stuff, not actually solve the problems.
It helps us get through it, and it will help us get through it much faster. Building an AI scientist will not just help science, it will help AI also.
What is the next frontier?
The next frontier after the AI scientist.
Yeah, after you solve all this AI scientist related stuff, which sounds like a walk in the park. So
yeah, we'll be, check back in a few days. We'll probably have finished it, right? Accelerating discovery research, after we have access to an AI scientist that will make science move much faster, we need to understand how fundamental biology works so that we can cure diseases. And, I'm hopeful that there are many, many diseases that we currently struggle with that we will have treatments for or cures for in our lifetimes by virtue of the acceleration that will come from, from combining AI, from bringing AI into science. So that's thing number one. And then thing number two is on the other side, once we have an AI scientist and people are able to benefit from access to that expertise, I really hope that the quality of medical care, for example, will get much, much better worldwide.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This was great.
Dr. Prabhakar, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here with both of you.
So you're President Biden's scientific advisor, and you also lead the Office of Science and Technology. You also spent a lot of time at DARPA, which is the federal agency that developed technology like GPS and the foundations of the internet. Many people don't know that. And that's because government today isn't exactly known for being at the cutting edge of technology. Can the rise in AI mark a change in that, where government plays a bigger role in driving innovation versus playing catch up to the private companies that are developing it?
Well, AI is changing a lot of things right now, and that's why President Biden's been extremely clear that it's one of the greatest opportunities of our times, and it's going to come with risks that we have to manage. And the work that's underway, the White House has been driving a lot of forward action here in this area. That work is about managing risks, but it's also about seizing the opportunities. And some of those big opportunities from AI are about the research that continues to be funded by the federal government.
So do you think that government can be a driver of innovation in this new age of AI versus just relying on private tech companies to come up with that technology?
Well, we're seeing a surge, and we're very happy that that surge in AI technology has come from American companies. It builds on the shoulders of many, many, many decades of publicly funded R&D, and now what the companies are doing on top of that. So I very much see it as a system where all the pieces have to work together. I spent half of my professional life in public service, but the other half in commercial technology, and every big thing this country has ever done has taken all of us, and that's certainly going to be true for seizing these opportunities from AI as well.
What are some of the moonshots that the US government is currently working on that could incorporate AI in advancing them?
President Biden likes to talk about this being the only country in the world that can be defined in a single word, and that word is possibilities, and that's what science and technology is all about. So I'll mention a couple of areas. One very important area of focus is changing health outcomes. And in this area, the President and the First Lady last year reignited their cancer moonshot. It set an extremely aggressive goal of cutting the age-adjusted cancer death rate by half over the next 25 years. That's about double the rate of progress that we've been making on cancer. The other goal that went with that is to change the experience of people and their caregivers and their families as they are all going through this cancer experience. And if you think about it, who isn't touched by cancer? This is one of the most foundational things, and an area where everyone in this country can pull together for a moonshot goal that really, really matters. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, to do that, we need to prevent more cancers. We need to detect more cancers quickly so that they can be caught. And we need better treatments for when cancer does move forward. And in every one of those areas, from public health to developing new drugs to tailoring clinical care for an individual, every one of those is an opportunity for AI to help accelerate progress in some very dramatic ways. So that's one huge example. I could tell you a similar story about dealing with all the effects of climate change as they're coming, modeling extreme weather and helping the country be more prepared for resilience.
Could you expand a little bit on your outlook on how that could be achieved?
Well, let's step back for a minute. What these AI systems are so powerful that they can seem magical, but really what they are doing is statistics at an extraordinary scale. So large language models that led to chatbots are about training these systems on human language so that they can build statistical estimates of answers to your prompts. When you're thinking about something like weather, that's another very, very, very complex system. Think about how huge the atmosphere is that surrounds the world. Think about how complex the calculations are when we run simulations to try to estimate how the weather will progress in the short term. And then think about how hard that problem is when we're thinking about climate effects over many years and many decades. That is the complexity that AI helps wrangle because of this new approach of training a computer on a lot of data so that it can build better estimates of what could happen in the future. And harnessing that power is going to lead to some very practical advances, we think, in both understanding weather better, but also understanding long-term climate effects. That's what's going to help us be more prepared and more able to deal with what's coming.
And obviously, the US is a huge key driver in developing AI technologies. But I'm curious, as a non-US citizen, who do you see elsewhere in the world doing interesting things?
Well, this is a global technology. First of all, again, AI, it seems like magic, but it really is human beings and corporations that are building compute, that are training it on data. They're using algorithms that are developed in research communities and widely shared. And so the ability to build AI of various sorts, it happens around the world. And in fact, I think that's good because there's so many applications globally that we'll want to pursue. But of course, it does mean that it really comes back to the question of what kind of a future we're going to build. And if you think about it, it's such a powerful force right now. Every country around the world is using AI to build a future that expresses their own values. And I think this is why it is so important that like-minded countries with democratic values and norms come together and agree about how we're going to build the rules of the road for AI.
You're advising President Biden on this new age of artificial intelligence. How is the Biden-Harris administration thinking about AI?
The starting point for this administration is what the president talks about every time he talks about AI. He sees its power and its potential. And every time he talks about it, you can hear his optimism about all the things that it's going to bring. And he's very clear-eyed that that doesn't come for free and that managing its risks has to go hand in hand with it. President Biden frequently talks about the fact that we're at a pivotal moment in history in which the choices that we make in the next few years are going to shape many, many decades ahead. AI for him is very much part of this moment. And that's why you've seen this administration move out so actively with urgency, starting by listening to all kinds of communities. We talked about the work that we've done with industry, but also we've had very active engagement with civil society.
Dr. Prabhakar, thank you so much for joining us.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Anima and Kumar, thank you so much for joining us. So you're a professor at Caltech and you're senior director of AI research at NVIDIA.
Which actually makes you the perfect person to answer a question that we've had, which is, Really broadly, how is AI changing, or has it been changing the scientific process over the last couple of years? Let's begin with that.
Yeah, this is such an exciting time. Thank you for having me on this show. And, the world has seen ChatGPT and the power of AI when it comes to language models. But to me, that's just the beginning, because beyond language, we can think of all kinds of scientific processes. And by understanding that through AI, we can do everything better, faster, cheaper, more accurate, and really be able to come up with new inventions and discoveries.
Let's dig into that. What does an AI-enabled lab look like?
Yeah, to me, like AI will completely transform the scientific workflow the way we know it. Ever since the 17th century or even earlier, the way we came up with new inventions or discoveries was somebody has some intuitions, right? They went to the lab, they tinkered, they're like, oh no, this doesn't work. And okay, this works, let's move ahead.
Trial and error.
Right? Exactly. And now think about AI being able to do that in the virtual domain, like being able to accurately simulate many of the processes or learn from data, right? The observations directly. And with that, be able to come up with better design, better discoveries than what would have taken really long in the real world.
What's changing the most right now? When you look at the landscape, is there any particular field that you see evolving much more quickly than any other field?
I mean, one thing that we're working on heavily is the Earth-2 project at NVIDIA, where our goal is to build very accurate digital twins of this planet. Be able to predict not only short-term weather, but also long-term climate change eventually.
The digital twin of the Earth, what is being twinned?
Yeah, all the processes on this planet. Think of like the atmospheric processes of convection currents, storms, right? Even really like fine scale features of cloud turbulence, what's responsible for hurricanes, for instance, how would this hurricane paths change, and can we come up with the right risk assessment? Because these are chaotic systems. These hurricanes can go in so many different ways. Can we really hone in on what is the risk to different human populations based on what we see today? So these cheaper and faster weather forecasts with AI will also enable us to create better probabilistic assessment of extreme weather events.
Let's talk about some of the other fields that AI is making transformations in the scientific process. For example, genomics or even drug discovery. What's going on there?
Oh, it's such an exciting time there because, the same kind of generative AI that we see for language, you can replace the letters of the English alphabet instead with nucleotides, ATGC, if you recall what makes up our DNA, right? And with that letters, you can now ask the language of the genome and have a model learn that.
So if there are tasks that artificial intelligence can make more efficient or even replace humans in a lab, what's kind of the vibe in the scientific community? Is there as much fear as there is in other industries that AI could take their jobs?
I mean, I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, and maybe never, because humans are such creative beings, right? We're always thinking of the, next unknown question, right? There's so many deep mysteries of the universe. There's so much we still need to understand, and AI is a tool. This will enable lab scientists to rule out a lot in simulation before they can go and do their experiments. So they only need to do a few. But then I feel like there'll be always things that'll be still unknown and to be conquered.
There's a lot of, I don't want to use an unpleasant word, but there are a lot of people who don't believe in things like climate change. And there are a lot of skeptics who believe that science is out to get them, or that, we're all just sitting here lying. Is there work being done that you think could actually win over some of these skeptics? Is there a way to demonstrably show them?
Yeah, I do think all the work we're doing will help towards this, because, this is not some model that's in some supercomputing facility, right? Not available to the public. I mean, you can download this and go try some of this yourself. Just like a video game, you can play the game of climate change one day, right?
Quantum physics.
So everything becomes accessible. At least my hope is, chunk of the community that is curious will have resources online that is much more open, so they feel like they can participate in that.
If you think about the scientific journey that humanity's been on over the last 300 years, it's been quite good. Just take us 10 years from now. Like, how different will things be?
I think the whole process of scientific research and development will be accelerated many, many times, right? Even orders of magnitude in some areas. And that'll just mean that we can quickly rule out things that don't work and hone in on things that work. Certainly, drugs designed by AI, they're already coming into trials, and that'll just increase fully. Personalized medicine for cancer and all of these, where we really haven't been able to understand, right, for various different targets, how to quickly design drugs. This can make it much faster and also cheaper, because right now so many of these treatments are too expensive to be done at scale. So it'll make this democratized and cheaper. And yeah, I think this will hit every area. I don't think any area is immune to this.
I think it will be interesting, won't it? 10 years time, if it takes the average drug 10 years to come to market, and if AI systems right now are coming up with some of the potential candidates for a future successful drug, then in 10 years' time, are we going to see a waterfall of new drugs?
I mean, it may not be a huge number, right? Because you can't test all of them. It'll be more targeted. It will be personalized. It will
actually work.
Exactly, effective.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's
Thank you,
been
Maud.
fascinating. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time.
Over the past decade, China has gone from a Silicon Valley copycat to a top contender in technology on the world stage.
Its ascent is peaking at a time when geopolitical tensions with the US and Europe are intensifying, and the rise of
โ
วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดเกิดโอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เธออย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันก็ใช้ profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดแค่โอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Take profit today Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดเกิดโอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เธออย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันก็ใช้ profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดแค่โอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Trade วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดหากโอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เธออย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันแต่ใช้ profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดแค่โอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Take profit today Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดหากโอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เธออย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับใช้ profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดแค่โอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดเกิดโอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เธออย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันก็ใช้ profit today วิเคราะห์เป็นระบบควบคุมความเสี่ยงเข้าออกให้แม่นเหมือนมืออาชีพทุกการเทรดเกิดโอกาสใหม่ถ้าคุณใช้กลยุทธ์ที่ถูกต้อง Trade smart take profit every day เทรดอย่างฉลาดกำไรอย่างมืออาชีพ Trade smart let the system lead the way กำไรทุกวันกับ Take profit today Trade
US Justice Department says it's dropping all criminal charges against Indian billionaire Gautam Adani. That decision follows an announcement that the US Treasury was resolving a sanctions-related investigation involving the Adani Group's flagship company. Last week, the SEC moved to settle a fraud case against Adani and his nephew. The move signal a potential for a dramatic US comeback for Asia's richest person. And Renault says it's aiming to build independent technology for electric vehicles in Europe to compete with Chinese car makers. The CFO, Duncan Minto, also told us that the war in Iran has had a limited impact on supply chains so far. Let's take a listen.
Less than 1% of sales are in the region for us in terms of direct exposure, but obviously there could be larger impacts on the supply chain. Today, so far, we haven't seen any impact, but obviously as an automotive manufacturer, we're very prudent about what could happen in the coming terms, so cost is very much a focus for us.
Exactly. You're trying to make your company leaner, right? If that's the case, I do wonder why you wouldn't share also some of your factories that are not running at full capacity with Chinese companies as well, like other European car makers are doing.
Yeah, Sherry, some European car makers, obviously the car market in Europe hasn't actually found the level it did pre-COVID. But Renault Group had done a lot of restructuring at that point in time. In terms of capacity utilization, unlike some of our peers, we're running over 90%, so we don't actually have any spare capacity to give away.
How well are you competing with Chinese car makers like BYD that, of course, are becoming more popular in Europe, especially given, of course, the issues surrounding energy prices soaring?
Yes, you have seen, as you referred to just earlier, a very large uptick in terms of EV demand in Europe since the beginning of the troubles in the Middle East. Whether this is a short-term thing or more of a longer-term thing linked to Renault's portfolio, because we have a dual strategy both on the EV car side, where we have a full portfolio of models, and on the hybrid side, which has been a very important part for Europe. But in order to go against Chinese competition and really raise the bar of the group, we had part of our Future Ready plan, which was announced very recently, the desire to keep fixed costs flat throughout the plan, to work on variable cost reductions. But I guess the most important factor is speed. And we've already proved that with the launch of Twingo, which we managed to launch within 21 months, which I think is a benchmark for Western manufacturers.
Future Ready strategy also, as you said, is about really cutting costs, not necessarily prioritizing volume, right? In that sense, give us a little bit more of your strategy on how you would compete with these cheaper Chinese car makers.
Yes, so Future Ready, one of the founding parts is about efficiency, capital efficiency, and keeping our fixed costs flat. But the plan is also a growth plan. At the end, in the auto sector, everything's about the product and the technology. So Future Ready sees us build our own independent technology in Europe, be that our EV platforms, in which we're seeing a lot of demand coming from partners outside, so external partners coming to ask us to produce for them due to the efficiency of these platforms. But it's also about growth for us outside Europe.
That was the Renault Group CFO, Duncan Minto, speaking to Bloomberg's Sherry Yarn a little earlier. Well, let's just check in on these markets, shall we? It's not the prettiest of pictures for equities and stocks this morning. We're down for the MSCI Asia Pacific Index by 0.6%, slightly dragged down by the Kospi. That's down 2.5% this morning. Weakness when it comes to tech in South Korea. And we're also looking at a lower open for Wall Street, down 0.3%, but a bit of brightness for Euro Stoxx 50 futures. Let's see if that holds towards the open. Flipping, though, to the cross-asset picture, and you can see partly why we've got negativity in the equities picture. Of course, there was a moment where we thought that there'd be a breakthrough in the Middle East talks. President Trump saying he's holding off on fresh Iran strikes, but caution around this latest geopolitics. Brent there at $110 a barrel. And when we look to your bond space, yields higher when it comes to treasuries. We have the 30-year yield up 2 basis points. And for 30-year JGB yields, we're up 7 basis points at 4.16. Well, coming up, we shall frame your day ahead with the best of our terminal charts for today. So do stay with us. This is Bloomberg.
you the world's business and financial news whenever and wherever it happens. I'm Michael McKee at Mount Everest. And this is Bloomberg.
When news breaks,
a redhead across the Bloomberg terminal.
Bloomberg has you covered.
Trump's global tariffs are struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court.
For all the context and clarity you need,
There's going to be now tons of tariff headlines until the midterm election.
Hear it first on Bloomberg.
Good morning. This is Bloomberg Daybreak Europe. I'm Lizzie Burden in London, and these are the stories that set your agenda.
Taking you from the U.S. market's close to the overnight session in Asia, we'll walk you through what you need to know to kickstart Europe's trading day. Live from our European headquarters, we bring you the day's top market-moving stories, unmatched expert analysis, and on-the-ground reporting from across the continent. Tune in to Daybreak Europe, only on Bloomberg Television. Context changes everything.
Key investors, top executives, global innovators. Join me for in-depth conversations with the biggest newsmakers on the day's top stories. Insight with Haslinda Anim, only on Bloomberg.
Welcome back to Bloomberg Daybreak Europe, 6:55 a.m. here in London. And just in our last few minutes together, I want to talk about what the pressure has been on long-term government borrowing costs, because we've talked about how the Middle East war is pushing up oil prices in general, that they're a touch lower today. But you can see that this pressure is a global story. Here, we've got the US, the UK, Germany and Japan, yields higher in all of them. And it is becoming a structural problem, not just because of higher oil prices, but layer in more fiscal issuance, the AI investment boom creating competition and fiscal expansion on top of that. And you can see this isn't just a UK or US problem. This is around the world. Now, at the shorter end of the borrowing curve, let's flip over as well. You can see that higher oil prices are also putting pressure on the Federal Reserve to hike rates, inflation pressure, creating a difficult dynamic for Kevin Walsh. And flip one more time, if we look to the equity space, you've also got pressure on certain sectors. I've picked out autos this morning. You can see the global stock moves in the yellow at the top here, but this is a story around the world. So both in Japan and in Europe and in China, where you've got lots of electric vehicles, of course, auto stocks under pressure from this war. So just a few charts to set you up for your day from the terminal. But to access all of these, save them, search for them. And for any charts that we've used on Bloomberg TV throughout the day, terminal subscribers can use the function CHRT TV Go. Let's take a quick look at the risk events on the docket for today. We were just previewing with Anna Andrade the jobs numbers. They come out at the top of the hour, just a couple of minutes to go. We also have US pending home sales data and a raft of Fed and BOE speakers. The opening trades coming up next. The Secretary General of the OECD coming up. This is Bloomberg.
When I visited Fernandez at IMAX's headquarters outside Toronto, we went to the facility where IMAX designs and maintains its cameras. The latest next-gen equipment was out with directors on filmed for IMAX sets, but there was still plenty of cool gear on view.
As the head of the finance department, do you look at all the things in this room and think, this costs that amount of money, this costs that amount of money?
Thankfully, no, I don't. When I think about cameras in general and what we, when we first, I'll give you a really prime example, the film cameras. when you thought about it, okay, are we building 2? Are we building 4? Are you building 8? Right? And that's where I start to think about, well, what makes the most sense from a return perspective? Because yes, Nolan wants the cameras, but how many other filmmakers out there use the film cameras? The lens that I look at it through is essentially, how many do we build and in what way? Because the one thing is we are going to invest to build it right and to build it for longevity. But do you need 10 of them? No. Building 4, that was the right number. And do we potentially want to build a couple more? Maybe a couple more, but I don't think we need 10 because they won't always be in use all the time.
I imagine that at different points you need to tell people no. What's that process like for you?
Oh yeah, it's a key role in the CFO position. It is a word that most people are used to, and yet they still think you're not going to say it.
At a time when policy in Washington is driving Wall Street, we draw a distinction between the rhetoric and the action, bringing you market-moving guests and original reporting. This is Bloomberg Surveillance.
U.S. jobs numbers are released. Bloomberg has the report under surveillance with crucial data and expert analysis at terminal speed. Nobody covers Jobs Day like Bloomberg.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, May 19th, and this is what is on today's agenda. Oil drops as President Trump says there will be no attack on Iran today, at least. Korean stocks fall as Seagate puts memory in focus, and UK assets brace for Labour data. Oh, and the fiscal politics.
So, King Kospi, the crown is slipping, at least for now, down 2.4%. The losses had been heavier earlier in the session on that sell-off in the chips sector. As Anna was saying, that's rippled across the Asian markets as well. Brent crude then currently down 1.6% at around $110 a barrel on the Trump lines around Iran. European stock futures, though, pointing to gains 0.2%. Is today the day when actually Europe benefits by not having a lot of exposure to the chip space, pointing higher by a little over 0.1%. The countdown to the opening trade starts right now.
Tuesday morning, good morning. A few interesting things happening out there, and Anna and Tom have just talked about them, but let's dig into them in a little bit more depth. What is fascinating this morning is the oil's down, but stocks are down as well. US futures are lower. Now, recently, what you've seen is oil down, stocks up. We're not seeing that, but that points us maybe towards the chip story that Tom was talking about. We'll come back to that in a moment. And the other interesting thing is that as the Cosby goes down, Europe goes up. Is Europe the anti-Cosby kind of trade at the moment? And I think Tom's point is well made around all of that. So I think there's an interesting sort of churn happening within the markets. But basically what we're looking at this morning is oil lower. This on comments coming through from President Trump indicating that he has been asked by a number of GCC countries not to attack Iran again, to restart the war, to end the ceasefire. Does that hold? Does that hold for long? The implication here is that we are getting ready for another round of conflict, Anna, and you wonder kind of how long this oil drop can last for.
Yes, yeah. Do you focus on the fact that there's no attack today, or do you focus on the fact that there was an attack planned, according to President Trump, and maybe it comes in days, if it comes at all? It's interesting. Also, we've got this other story that the U.S. Treasury is extending the waiver on Russian energy as well, and so clearly mindful of. That's for another 30 days. So they're removing the sanctions there for another 30 days. So clearly mindful of the fact that we need more oil in the system. We need more energy to get into the system. But stocks did still move on some of the Iran lines yesterday. We are still as much as we want to move on to AI and all the rest, certainly European stocks, to your point, moving yesterday on some of these conflicting headlines around what was coming out of the Middle East.
Because the case could be made that the status quo, as things stand, can't stand, that one way or another, something has to happen, either a deal or a return to military conflict. So how do markets price that? The bond market's now pricing in a return to conflict. The bond markets are again selling off, yields up, and you're seeing that across the Japanese space. There's some economic data out of Japan as well that ties in to what is happening there in terms of pricing in potentially that hike from the BOJ in, of course, June. But the uncertainty, therefore, that continues, it does seem like the status quo can't hold in terms of what is happening around the Straits of Hormuz. So which side do we go on, and how much is being priced in by these markets as inflation risks rise?
And on the bond market, there are people now who are starting to say, is there value here? Goldman Sachs saying, looking at the 30-year at 5.13%, some emerging measure of value, but they are cautious. So that is a sort of sense of where the conversation is right now, because a lot of people have been getting out of bonds. Barclays, PGIM, all pretty negative on bonds just over the last couple of days.
the other key theme for us today is what's been happening. So a second straight day of losses in the semiconductor space. Interestingly, so the Philly stock index fell. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index fell yesterday again for a second straight day. You had companies like Micron under pressure, Marvel under pressure. But interestingly, the software stocks actually performed to the upside. So that dynamic has switched, at least in the last 24 hours or so in the US. You saw the read across, of course, the Asian markets, the Kospi, but also Taiwan under pressure as well. And this was... And this is something you've been highlighting, Guy, is concerns about whether or not the demand for chips is cyclical or not. And it's the Seagate CEO suggesting in comments at an event that maybe he thinks that it's indeed cyclical, suggesting that he doesn't want to build out too many factories in case that demand starts to ebb. And that seems to be one of the catalysts for the sell.
Okay, explain this to me, because I'm feeling thick this morning and I don't understand what is happening here. Why did Seagate go down on this? Because it strikes me that what he said at this JP Morgan conference should be good for investors. Basically, he's saying we're not going to fall into the trap of building too much capacity. We're going to focus on higher density drives. We're not going to fall into that trap once again. I would have thought that that would be positive, not negative.
That supports the bottom line. If you're thinking about the profits, then maybe that supports the bottom line. But does it suggest a lack of conviction that this is a change to a more structural growth story, and maybe people had been buying into a structural growth story? But I don't know. I'm also feeling slightly slow on this particular subject, but it certainly weighed on Seagate, but it weighed on the whole sector. It wasn't even just that company. And he's kind of said it before. He said it in a Bloomberg News interview not that long ago.
He's reiterated the point. Meanwhile, Blackstone and Google teaming up, they seem to think that the infrastructure demand will continue and for years ahead, because they have a challenge. They have a proposition, at least, to invest, potentially, if you could include margin and leverage, about $25 billion to build out data centers to kind of compete with the likes of CoreWeave. And you're hearing from executives that they are implementing AI, and there is a job cost to this, whether in the banking space or in the tech space. If you look at Standard Chartered or Meta, both announcing adjustments to headcount on the back of the AI investments.
Let's talk about the UK, shall we, a little bit? We've got some data just breaking on the UK. And, you know, at the margin, this looks weaker for the UK labour market. So if we look at private earnings, excluding bonuses, 3 months year on year, we've dropped down from 3.2% to 3%. That's the extent of the wage rise. And that is a little below the estimate of 3.1. And then we look at the unemployment rate over 3 months, and that is now at 5%, ticking up from 4.9. This is in keeping with what Bloomberg Economics was saying ahead of these numbers, that they are expecting a tick up in unemployment, and that will weigh on Labour's ability to demand more wages. And so that's for them the reason why we won't get quite so many hikes from the Bank of England. But the UK story is complex right now.
Yeah, there's an inflation problem and there's a labour market problem.
And there's a politics problem.
There is definitely well, is there a problem? I don't know whether there's a problem yet. Andy Burnham trying to sound like he understands the bond market concerns yesterday, saying all the right things. So it sounds a bit like Starmer to me, trying to say as little as possible to upset the apple cart in advance of an election, which is quite consequential. But do you? But do you? But yeah, okay, fine. Yes. From his team. Yeah. The question is, do you believe him? Because basically, if you watch the video of him walking around, he's talking about anti-Thatcherism. He's talking about reversing the supply-side reform that Thatcher delivered. He's talking about nationalisation. He's talking about demand-side reform. He's talking about building lots of council houses. He's talking about all of these things which are going to cost money. So therefore, I don't understand how you can stick with the fiscal rules and deliver all of what he is talking about, this kind of anti-Thatcher rhetoric that reverses, 40 years of supply-side reform that the UK had?
So therefore, how much commitment does he have to the tax pledges that were made by this government in the manifesto, which takes us back to that question about how far away from the manifesto he goes and where that takes the politics. But yeah, that's certainly, and actually the IMF warning just yesterday, I mean, yes, warning, stick to the fiscal rules as you'd expect, but also say, you know, warning
Mr. Victor Klapinski, CEO of Valetax.
First of all, I highly appreciate you finding time and coming today to share this really impressive night. The idea is to kind of think and let you feel who is Valetax in reality.
ผมจะเติบโตไม่ได้เลยถ้าไม่มีทุกคนแล้ววิชั่นของผมอยากพา Valetax ไปไกลที่สุด Valetax New Era